Hello, I'm Crystal. Welcome to my online dating channel. Who to avoid, who to pursue in online dating. We all know by now to make a great profile, to put a picture, description, fill out the profile, age, divorce, single. We all know the basic. So, if we have a profile and there's no photo, what are they hiding? Someone or something. Or worse, they're insecure. They're afraid to be judged by you. Or they're worried about what other people are going to think. Oh, my colleague may see me, my sister, brother, friend. But what's wrong? It's an online dating site or app. You're single. You're looking for a companion. So why are you not putting a photo on your profile? We don't want insecure people. We don't want someone who's not convinced, who's worried about what people are going to think. We want someone who registered online, looking for a companion, putting the photo on the profile, showing themselves, because they want to find someone. They want someone to look at their photo and yes, judge them. Judge them. Because they know intelligent people will not just judge them for their looks. They're looking at the character, the facial expression, how they're dressed. And then people are going to look at their description and the whole profile. So we don't want anyone without a photo on the profile. Let's avoid them. Let's avoid the newly separated or divorced man or woman. Okay, yeah, they're single. They're single and they think they're ready to mingle, but actually they're not. Because just a few months ago, they were married. They were not here in the dating world. So they don't know how, what's going on right now. They need to heal first. They're still hurting. Whether they left or they were dumped, they're still hurting. It's a new world. Let them heal. Let them get back to us after about a year. So let's avoid the newly single and the newly divorced. And you know what? Sometime the newly single, maybe after 6 or 7 months, actually go back to their spouses or their ex-girlfriend or boyfriend because they thought they wanted to be single. But then they're like, kind of complicated out here. And they run back to their ex. So we don't want to be that middle person, that holds them and caresses them and makes them feel good. And then they go back to their exes. So let's avoid the newly divorced or newly single. Then why don't they have a description on their profile? We all know a description on the profile, is what the person reads to know a little bit about us, maybe a line about what they're looking for. So they didn't take the time to write a description. They're not going to take the time for a relationship. They registered, they put the picture, but they didn't write anything because they're not really, giving their time and effort to find someone. If not, they would have written a beautiful description about themselves because they know the person's going to look at their profile and see what they have in common, understand a little bit more about that person looking at their profile, the photo and the description. So if they didn't write one, they didn't take the effort, they're not going to take the effort in a relationship with you. Hello, so I'm Crystal, native New Yorker living Milan, and I used to have a single site. It was called Single and the City. So I know the do's and don'ts and who you should pursue and who you should avoid online dating. So what's a key question to ask? How long have you been single? So you're not asking them directly, are you single? Because even the married person might say, yes. But when you ask, how long have you been single? Well, they have to confess and admit, no, I'm not single, I'm married. But anyway, you find out how long they've been single. 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, up to 5 years is understandable. You can be single for a period as long as 5 years. But more than 5 years, it's kind of difficult. Okay, you didn't have the great love of your life. You weren't engaged. But didn't you have a story, a relationship with someone in these 5 years? Even if it lasted like 3 or 4 months. No one? You had no relationship in the last 5 years. But now you're on a dating site and you're looking for love. Not really. You're not really looking for someone if 5 years or more than 5 years has passed and you haven't had any kind of relationship. So let's avoid people who haven't had a relationship within the last 5 years. Messages. Okay, this feeling, you've been exchanging messages, but now a couple of days have passed by. No message. You left a message, no response. Or maybe they left a message to you and you responded, and now they disappear. They're ghosting you. Or that's what you thought. But then like 4 or 5 days later, they write you a message. No excuse, no I'm sorry. They're just back online and they write you a message. And you're like, oh, I thought you disappeared. You got kidnapped. And like, no, I've been busy. Okay. Everyone's busy. Everyone has their life. But if you're really pursuing someone, you really have feelings, you really like that person, you want to get as fast out of the virtual world and into the real world as possible. So you don't ghost them or disappear for 2 or 3 days. You continue to pursue them, continue the messages flowing because you want to exchange telephone numbers, you want to talk to that person, and you want to meet them. You want to have a date. So the disappearing act, no. Okay, if they don't respond within 24 hours, like the next day, that's okay. Because maybe you leave a message and maybe you do have something to do, and the next day you weren't able to, go online. Okay, 1 day is fine. 2 or 3 days, no. If someone's really interested, they respond to your message. They leave you a message. They want to meet you. They want to talk to you. So remember these advice of who to avoid and who to pursue. So who do we want to pursue? The person with their photo in the profile. Nothing to hide. They're out there. They want you to see them. They don't care if you judge them. They want you to judge them, see their character, their facial expression. They're not interested who is going to see them, their colleague or friend, because they know they're not doing anything wrong. They're on a single dating site. The person who wrote a description, they wrote something about themselves. They want to share something about themselves with you so you can look at their description and see what you have in common. Someone who's been single for at least a year, not the newly separated or divorced. They're single and they're really looking for a companion. They registered because they want to find their soulmate. Not the newly single who's out there and not sure what they really want yet. They filled in the profile. They wrote their age, their height, where they're living, kids or no kids. They wrote as much about themselves as possible so you can get to know them. That's who we want to pursue. Who else do we want to avoid? People who live far away. You live in Philadelphia, they live in Texas. You live in New York, they live in California. You're in London, they're in Italy. Yes, we have jets and planes and trains. Traveling is easy. But we want to meet someone in our own city because we want to start, going out with them on a daily, weekly basis. Not someone who lives far away, who after maybe a month of, exchanging messages and talking on the phone comes to visit us. And then we have to work out, how it's going to work. And it usually doesn't work. Long distant relationships are very difficult. Someone has to move. So remember that when you're thinking about a long distance relationship. Are you willing to move? So you're in New York and you're talking to the person in Texas. Are you willing to move? This is my kitty cat. Are you willing to move to where the other person is living? If the answer is no, don't get involved with someone who doesn't live in your own city. Who to avoid, who to pursue, to find your soulmate online. Remember, our time is precious. Our time is golden. We don't have time to waste. We're not registered in a dating site to date online, to exchange messages, to look at profiles. No, we're registered in a dating site to meet someone special, to date on the real world, and to begin a relationship. So we want to just pursue people who are actually registered online and looking for a relationship. Ciao for now. Hit the subscribe button to see when my next video will be. And I'll talk to you soon. And remember, you can find your soulmate online. Just follow my golden rules.